Mr. Tariq. Today we'll be solving, this is May, June 2018, paper 31, ICT. So open the file make sure your name, sender number, candidate number are mentioned on every page of your document. So you have been provided with an evidence document where you have to place different evidence over here. So make sure your name, center number, and candidate number are present in all these. So here you go. Let me open this up first. So you have to make sure your name, your center number, and your candidate number, whatever it is, it's mentioned over here, right? Save this as Word process document in your work area as this, okay, followed by your details. Now let's start doing task 2. You work for hot house design and will develop web pages for a small construction company called Bobby's Bricks. Efficient markup and style sheets must be used. All color codes must be in hexadecimal, which means 6 color codes: RGB, hexadecimal, red, green, and blue. 2 digits for red, 2 digits for green, and 2 digits for blue. We'll talk about this later on, and you can find more details on my website, mrsim.com and sirsim.com. Create a new folder called bb.html. Okay, so we have to create a new folder, bb.html. So I will create over here, new folder. Here we go, done. Look at the following files and store them in this. So I'll copy these files and I'll place them in this folder. This opened up, so obviously I save it, try again, right? Done. Okay, create a page called bb.htm. So I need to create an htm. I'll go file and I will save as, and I need to save it as here we go, .htm or .html doesn't make a difference. This web page must work in all browsers and will have a table structure shown below. So in order to create something like this, what we need to do is we need to create over here is design view. Now you can see over here is that we need to have call space 2 and call space 3 and call space 4 over here. Okay, so I'll create a table 4 by 4 over here. I'll simply center align it. Okay, now I need to merge these and I need to merge these, right? I need to merge these two and I need to merge these two so that I can make something like this. Now I need to do is I'll merge these two. So this is why I used 4 by 4 so that I can create something like this. Otherwise, if I would have created 3 columns and 4 rows, there would have been a problem that this column would be going along with this column and I would not be able to adjust it. So 4 by 4 is what we have to do. So 400 by 300 is the width into height. Well, the best way is that I can define it over here. So obviously the entire table that we have will have a width of 1200. So we will define this over here as 1200. Okay, and individual table will have individual cells over here will have a width of 400 and height of 300. So what we'll do is we'll simply define over here width is equals to 400, width is equals to 400, and width is equals to 400 over here. We'll see in the coding, do we have it? Yes. Okay, so now this I have to do it manually. Width is 400 and height is equals to 300. I always prefer doing it manually over here. So here we go. Height is 300. In fact, I'll copy the entire thing because 3 cells have the same dimensions, and I'll replace it. Here we go, right? So you can see over here. Let's continue, and you will see at the end it will be perfectly fine. So here we want is width should be 1200, and height should be 150, as you can see it in the question paper. Not 150, it's 250. It's 250, and put a space in between. This is why a working knowledge of HTML is really important. Here you go again. Right, call space means that it has been distributed into 4 columns. And lastly, the last row has 600 by 300. So again, we'll have 600 by 300. So here we go. Oops. All right, so this is something that we have over right now. So I'll hit F12 to basically see in the browser. Right, perfect. You can see my first row columns are of the exact dimension, and even the last one is of the exact size dimensions. Okay, so we've been able to define these. So this was the way to basically work with this. Well, you can see over here is what you see is what you get. I'm getting a different view over here, but it's different when I view it in my browser. So you always have to view in the browser how it's working. Each table cell is identified with a letter, and all dimensions are in pixels. The letters and the dimensions shown in the table must not appear on your final web page. Obviously, you have to type this. The external table border must have a width of 4 pixels, and all internal grid lines must have a width of 2 pixels. Table borders and grid lines must be visible. Okay. So what we'll do over here is we have to make the entire table border is 4 pixels and 2 pixels, right? So we'll make this border as 4, and we need to control C, and every TD has to be 2. So this will be 2. I'll just copy and paste the rest of it. Control C, and obviously Control V, Control V. Right. Okay, let's view this in the browser again. As you can see, the outer border is 4 and the inner border is 2. Okay, so obviously whenever you have to temper the outer border, it's always done in the table tag, and whenever you have to temper with the inside cells, it's always done in TD. Even if you have to do it in CSS, the rule remains the same. Right. Okay, place in cell A the image brickwork.jpg. So in cell A, which is this one, we have to place brick. So come to image, brickwork. Right. What else? Place in cell B the text, this, and set the style as H2. So obviously I will see is it in sequence A, B, C, D, E, F, G. It's in the sequence, so I can follow that. So I'll select this, and I'll select this, and I'll format this as H2. In cell C, the image paving.jpg. So I have to have is paving.jpg. Resize the image in the markup so that it is 394 pixels wide and maintains aspect ratio. So we have to make it 394. What I will do is I'll press shift and I'll look over here, down here, while I'm reducing the size, and you can see while I do this, I will make it 394. Right. Okay. Place in cell D the image bblogo.jpg. This this is the logo of the company which appears on the company vehicles, letterheads, etc. So BB, so we have A, B, C, D. D has to come here, right? Okay, and you can see the width of this is 1194. It's almost 1200. Make this image hyperlink to open the web page bb contact.htm in a new browser window called _new. So we have to link this to contact, and we have to make it open a new window called target_new, right? Place in cell E the text from the file this text1. I'll just copy this. So I'll read again. So place in cell E the text from this and style as H1. So E and style as H1. I can close this now. Place in cell F the text this, copy. The text this, add your name, sender candidate number to the end of this text. So page created by Sim PK, right? Sender number, candidate number. Okay, add your name. Set the text we will undertake as H2. This should be H2. And set the text this by H3. This has to be H3, right? Make only the text this outhouse design a hyperlink to the web page this. So I need to copy this, and I'll just place this link over here, right? Becomes a link for me, which should be set to open in the same browser window, which means we don't have to type anything in the target. Okay, so it opens in the same window. In cell G, the image of map provided. So we have the map over here, right? Attach the style sheet bb style.css into your web page and to bb contact.htm and save the file in folder. So we have to actually attach. Okay, done, right? And save the file. The file is saved, right? So as you can see, our dimensions have not been tempered, and if I preview in this web browser, it's becoming perfectly fine. So whenever you do so, whenever you're doing so, make sure that your dimensions, the width and the height, are not changed and they're the same. So you have to keep on verifying your work. You have to keep on checking everything is going perfectly fine or not. Okay, the style sheet has been started but needs to be improved using most efficient syntax. Make sure your style sheet does not contain any HTML. So we don't have to use HTML within the style sheet. Open style sheet bbstyle.css in a suitable software package and examine its content. Edit the style sheet so that it has the following specifications. So what we need to do is I have to open up the style sheet that has been provided to us, which is this one, right? And what we need to do is we need to define the following things. Styles H1, H2, H3 display the font this, and if this is not available then this. If neither of these are available, then display the default serif font. So here we go. So first of all, what we need to do is H1, H2, H3. Okay, we have to define style, right? So H1 comma H2 comma H3. So we can even define them in one line as this. And what they want is, let me just go to see styles, refresh. Let me just edit this. So what they want is, okay, so if this font is not available, you can simply type over here is comma is this, right? And the other one is this. And otherwise we have to type is Sarah. Right? So we don't have to put serif in double quotes because the main family. Set the styles this to center line text. So I need to edit this again, and it has to be in block. It has to be center, right? Set h1 must be red with no green or blue elements. Set h2 must be blue with no green. So actually okay, so what we need to do is it says that it done with this h1 must be red with no green or blue component, which means 0 0 red must be red with ff 0 0 0. So I have to define over here separately, obviously h1 again. So I will be defining one fresh, so it's okay. I need to define as a tag. I can type it myself, but fine. And I need to make this as pure red. Apply. Okay, so I can even type it like ff and hexadecimal, because since it says hexadecimal, it should be like that. Then we need to make is set h2 must be blue with no green or red components. Set h3 must be blue with no green or red components. So I need to define over here is I can simply do one thing is, instead of wasting this time, I can simply define h2 comma h3 and h3, and what they're saying is must be blue with no green and components. So in case of RGB, so I'll define over here 0 0 0 0 FF, right? Set H3 done. All borders and grid line must be red with no green or blue elements and match the requirements of question 1. Okay. So what we were supposed to do, well, I did this part in HTML perfectly fine. I will also tell you how to do it in CSS. Okay, question 1. So this was supposed to be done with CSS. I was wondering the same thing. Okay, good, they clarified. But I told you the way of doing it in HTML as well. So we have to make the outer 4 and the inner 2, and we need to specify what they said. Must be red with no green or component. So it should be pure red, right? So what we need to do over here is we need to define is a table tag. Okay, because I told you that outer boundary all comes in the table tag. So what we'll do is we'll come with border, we'll define solid, we'll define it 4, and we'll define it red. Okay, let's continue. So we were supposed to make this 4 red, okay, and we need to specify the border collapse, right? And we need to make is our TD, the inner tables, the inner as solid but 2 and red, right? So, and we need to change this into hexadecimal like they said so. So we can't leave it the way Dreamweaver CS6 leaves it. Done with this? Right. Display the web page in your browser. If necessary, resize it. All the page can be seen. All text can be read easily. The address bar is visible. Take a single screenshot of the browser window and place this in the evidence document. So here we go. We need to hit F12 and see this. So I can press Control minus to zoom out. Okay, I can take a screenshot of this. Okay, right? So Control minus, Control plus, right? And then take a copy of the HTML source. So I need to actually take a copy of this source, and I can say print code as well, right? The HTML source, and place it in evidence document. Evaluate in your own words the choice of fonts used for this web page. Type your evaluation in your own words into your evidence document using no more than 100 words. So in order to do that, I need to view this in the browser again so that I can give my comments. Well, first of all, the type of fonts used, well, as far as the headings are concerned, if you compare it with the background, the font color is not very much visible. The font type is not appropriate for the headings. Again, it's not much visible as well. Okay, so the color scheme has has an issue as far as the background is concerned, right? The color needs to have a contrast, a proper contrast through it. It could be readable, right? Right. Right. So whoa, that's what you can see. Um, So you can see at least the font that we have over here, it should match with this. It starts with uppercase. It should have proper corporate house style. You can see it starts with small case, or it's starting with capital. So it should match with the corporate house style, which means the heading that you have within your logo, every organization has to follow a particular corporate house style. So we don't see this being followed over here, right? Okay, you're going to prepare a spreadsheet model to calculate the number of bricks used to build a wall. Identify the symbols used within the spreadsheet formula for the following mathematical operators: multiply, divide, to power of is not equal to. Type these symbols into your table in your evidence document. Okay, basically, do I have it over here? And have they given us? Yeah. So mathematical operator, obviously for multiply we use this, for divide we use this, for the power of we use this shift and 6. Okay, indices as well, and is not equal to, okay, is not equal to, we use this exclamation mark, not equal to, right? Or we could even do this is not equal to, right? Okay, save it in evidence document. Open the file, these two. So let's open the file, estimator.csv, and breaks.csv. Here we go. Right. Okay, edit file this so that it looks like this. Okay, let's break this one. So I need to merge this, I need to merge this, I need to actually increase the font size of this, I need to size of this as well a bit. Okay, space, so I need to select this and I need to make it all borders. I need to select these two and I have to make the background as gray, right? Okay, here we go. I need to align this right hand. Okay, here we go. So you've been able to make something like this. Save this as a spreadsheet with the file this followed by center candidate number. Take a screenshot showing cells A1 to C212 of a spreadsheet including row column headings. So A1 to C12. So A1 to C12. You need to do is go to file, print, you will come to page setup and sheet. You will say is row and column headings should be visible. They are visible, and then you'll print it out. I'm not printing it right now, obviously. For steps 12 to 20, you may enter test data to help you create your model. Find restrict the data entry in cell B4 to S or D, to cell B4 to be S or D. So I'll come over here, I'll come to data, I'll come to data validation, and I need to come in the list and I'll type over here is S or D, right? It's capital S or D, sorry, it's S or D, right? So I have over here is either S or D, right? Okay, take a screenshot of your method of restricting. So we have to take a screenshot of what we just created over here. Okay, we have to take a screenshot of this, right? Okay, enter formula in cell B10 to display in cell B10. Okay, enter formula cell B10 to display. Okay, to display single if cell B4 contains S. Okay, so we'll use is equals to, okay, rest double if cell contains D. So if is equals to S, then same. Oh, single, otherwise double, right? So if I select from here, it's single, and here it is double, right? Enter function in cell B9 from, okay, right? In B9 to look up the name of the type of the brick using the file list. You are planning to build a wall from, okay, so here I have the name of the type. I have the brick code, brick name, right? So B, I have B. Oh, great. So the question says enter a function in cell B9 to look up the name of the type of the brick using for the file. Okay, so what we have over here is the brick name. So we need to enter over here is the brick code, obviously. So we'll use equals to v lookup, obviously, and my lookup value is this, and I need to look up from here. Okay, comma 2, comma 0, right? Obviously it will not be working right now because we don't have, and they did say so that we can enter our own value just to see it's working or not. It's working. Okay, the next part we have is, okay, this one. Some walls are single skin walls. These are 1 brick thick. Stronger walls are double skin. These are 2 brick thick. To calculate the number of bricks that will be required for single skin wall, the following formula is used. The length and the height of the wall are multiplied together. This is divided by the face area of each brick. Twice as many bricks are needed for double skin wall. For both double skin and single skin walls, an extra 10% is all added as some bricks will be damaged. An extra 50 bricks are added as some will need to cut. Okay, enter formula in cell B11 to calculate the number of bricks required for a wall. You can only buy whole bricks, right? So an extra 10% also is required as some bricks will be damaged. An extra 50 bricks are added as some will need to be cut, right? So what we need to do is, okay, the length. So let me explain you the question again. So basically what we have to do is to calculate the number of bricks that will be required for single wall. Obviously what we need to do is, obviously we have to find the dimension of the wall. So we have to multiply the height and the width. Obviously we need to see the size, the face value of the brick as well. So if we know the height and the width of the wall, we know the total area of the wall. And if we want to know how many bricks are required, obviously we need to divide it by the face value of one brick, how many bricks will be occupied in that particular area. So in the other file, what they've done is they have given us the brick code and the face area of each type of brick. You can see most of them are the same, they're two different. Okay, so it's pretty simple to do this. It's not very complicated as some students thought. So what we need to do over here is equals to, we will say is this cell divided by this with the width multiplied by the height. Okay, and this has to be divided by the face value, which is obviously not over here, which will be v lookup. We have to find it. We look up what we have to see what we enter over here, okay, the type of the brick, and we need to compare it from here. This is comma 1 1 2 3 4 4 and comma 0 for the exact match. You got the point? Obviously if I enter over here is w, so it will give me the face value of w, which is this. If I enter over here z, it will give me this face value. So obviously, since we don't know the face area of individual bricks, that's why we are doing this. So right now we get this, but that's not the entire question. The question says twice as many bricks are needed for a double skin wall, right? Okay, this was for your single skin wall, right? So for double skin wall and single skin walls, an extra 10% will be added as some bricks will be damaged. Okay, so what we need to do is an extra 10% will be added to it. So obviously what we need to do is, I'll just okay, this will be, so an extra 10% is added. This will be added to all of it, right? Single. Okay, so we have to use over here is if as well. We'll say if this is equals to s, then this will come, but obviously we need to add this plus control C, control V. Why am I doing this? Because we need to add 10% to it. So multiplied by 10 divided by 100. Okay, so if it's s, get me this value plus add 10% to it and plus add 50 to it, right? If it's single. Otherwise what we will do is I will select the entire thing. Okay, and obviously I'll put this in the bracket. No, I'll select this for select this entire thing, Control C. I'll paste this here, and what I'll do now is I need to put all this in. This is otherwise. You can see this is ifs otherwise. Otherwise, multiply by 2, because otherwise if it's double break, and enter, right? Yes, lengthy formula, but if you think it properly, it's not really very complicated, right? So we can test it. I can do is I can select from here is single, it gives me different answer. And if you see over here is if I enter over here is oh, not this one, this one. If I enter over here is Z, then it's the rate will change. If I enter over here is X M, it might not change a bit. Okay, if I write over here is, let's say, X, it does not change. But if I write over here Z, it should change if my answer is correct. It's changing. You see, it's changing. So this is how we were supposed to do it, right? I can just copy this entire thing. Well, obviously you can play the video again and have a look at the way I've done it, right? Next is save and print the spreadsheet showing the formula. Make sure it's landscape orientation, row and column heading visible, the content of fields are visible. The brick V, we have to V 460, and it should be V. So here we go, we get 238.9, it's 239 if you round it. And here we go, print the spreadsheet showing formulas, contents for fully visible. Change the model so that the wall is double row skin and the height is 50. The wall is double skin. The wall is double. And what? And what? Where was I? And the height is 50. There we go. The height is 50. Right? Done. It's 50. Print on single page wide. So I'm done with this. If you still have a problem, please let me know. Okay, my email is mrsim@yahoo.com. Okay, for my students, they can obviously contact me as it is. Till then, wish you all the best.